We'll jump right in. If that's
Okay,
all right with you, we'll jump right
absolutely.
in and we'll just allow spirit to guide the space of what's most optimal for us to share with everyone. So this is beautiful Deborah. Debbie, many
Debbie.
know her as Debbie. And so, Debbie, you are part of our beautiful Acasma Planet of Light and Healing Grid. You are one
Yes,
of the beautiful pillars and anchors of light on this planet for the shift of consciousness of humanity. You're also a part of our beautiful community, the Pods of Light. You're, I believe, in the Eternal Light Within Pod,
yes,
with Holly as the leader and Gregory as the ambassador of light. So we give a shout out to your pod of light and all,
absolutely.
hey, eternal light within. Um, and you and I met, I believe we met, and please correct me if I'm wrong, beginning of 20, was it 23 or 24? But I remember
It was
we,
actually the beginning of 23,
okay, okay.
but I
And
had
now,
been watching you for a year before that.
okay. Okay, I love it. I love it. And time is so funny anymore.
Yes,
When you think back to a space of what we see as the past, you almost feel like it was another lifetime,
I
or
know.
it just feels so funny and fascinating at the same time. But you connected in and shared your insights. We did some Acosma quantum energy sessions together, the work that I facilitate and teach. And you had some profound moments. You caught them on film, you had inner knowings coming in, and you were so gracious to share with us. So now we find ourselves here, and all of these spaces of you have been expanding as your inner knowing and your inner sight has been expanding as well. And so I think what we decided to talk about most today, and again, I'm open to going in any direction, but I think it might be really helpful because others are in the boat with you, is these visions that are coming in most recently that you've been emailing me about and been
Hmm.
sharing about in the pod. Where you're seeing stuff that's really big. You're seeing
Yes,
spaces of destruction, of I think it was natural disaster type
hmm,
spaces, um, upheaval and
yes. Very
destruction.
dark.
Okay, so then of course, like anyone would, you're like, why am I seeing it? What is the
Hmm.
purpose? Why would I be shown this? What can I do with it?
Right.
Am I supposed to do anything with it? Uh, so before we get into the answers of why and what and all of that, can you elaborate a little bit more on when this started opening up? Like maybe this has been going on for you for a long time, maybe it's upticked lately. Give us a little background on what we're talking about, the
Yeah.
vision.
Actually, my whole life, I knew there was something else because it's just who I was. I was different from everybody else. Nobody believed anything I said. So I just always put it in the back corner. I never paid attention to it. 2020 rolled around. Things went crazy. I started watching you on, I think it was TikTok. And then I started getting into your YouTube videos. The more I meditated, the clearer things started becoming. More things started happening. Things started opening up. I was healing myself. I had two broken ribs and completely healed myself within 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
That's
And
fantastic.
these were major breaks. Um, Around 20, I guess it was July 12th. I think it was around July 12th. I started meditating and things got weird, and they were things I wasn't used to seeing. Usually it was just a lot of color and, you know, um, a lot of light, but nothing of any understanding to me. I just offered it love and I felt it back. July 12th, something happened and it just snapped. Things went dark and scary, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I started writing you and telling you all about it. What's happening? Why am I seeing this? What has changed? Did I do something? Did I change my way? This is all very new to me. I have never ever done this before in my life. So it's a very new experience, and a lot of it can be very scary. So I thought, well, I know I can reach out to Andrea and everybody else. And I'll be honest with you, I had to stay off of the chats for the last week or so because I can't focus. It's like flashes are constantly going through my head. It doesn't matter the sentence, what anybody's talking about. It's like it's constant and I can't control it. And it freaks me out a little.
Yeah. It's a big space. It's a big
It's a
space.
very big space.
And you're doing phenomenal. You really are. I hope you've had a moment at least where you've had that thought once at least, but you're doing phenomenal to navigate in the way you are. Um, okay, so you're trusting yourself and you're allowing, yes,
Yes,
and you're leaning in and you're reminding yourself all along the way. Sometimes it might be easier to do it, sometimes it might not be as easy, but you're reminding yourself you're surrounded by love. Even as you're,
absolutely.
yeah, even as you're seeing these visions and these spaces that are dark and dense and evil and horrific and all of the above. All right, so this is not going to be cookie cutter. So
Right.
Debbie and I are not insinuating that everybody who watches this video is going to have the same exact
Mm-mm.
alignment as she is. But there are a lot of you out there. So if you found your way to this video and you clicked in and you're like, wait a minute, what? I've been seeing things. I've been sensing things. I have weird dreams. I have, these incredibly big meditation spaces. Then this might align for you. This might resonate with some type of commonality, connection point where it could be beneficial to understand this particular space. So Debbie and I are going to talk through this together. Okay. I'm going to share my inner knowing and then let Debbie ping it back to me off of her inner knowing. So
Hmm.
I'm in no way trying to tell Debbie what to do or you. We're having a conscious conversation. That's what we call it.
Absolutely.
All right. So, and it's very important because your knowing, Debbie's knowing is all part of this, right? Okay. Yes. So that's actually one of the biggest things you're doing here, Debbie, if you will, is you're learning how to trust yourself more. That's one thing that's happening, right? Because it takes a lot of trust to even tell somebody what you saw or
Right.
like, yeah, step out of that.
Especially when no one around you understands anything or wants to hear anything about it.
Right. That it's an even bigger stretch on your part. And that's another thing to bring to the table. If you are someone watching this video and you are saying, I couldn't talk to anybody, I don't have anybody. Well, here you go. Now you have two
Hmm.
people. Debbie and
A whole
I
group of people.
understand. And then we have a beautiful community, Acasma Family of Light, and it's a free community. So maybe you'd found this video for that reason, to just have a space of people who can understand what you're talking about. Now, another really big thing in the teachings we hold, Acasma consciousness, which is what we're talking about, how we process ascension, how we process what we're seeing, feeling, experiencing, is through the connection to our higher mind, our higher heart, our higher self, the divine, which is this Acasma connection that we talk about. And so another really big thing that we're doing is we're learning how to lean into that higher mind, higher heart space as you're having this experience. So you're seeing something that's extremely scary or dark or dense or all of the above, but you're asking yourself to not only see it with the now version human Debbie, yes, but you're also asking yourself to see it as that connected, never separate, divinely loved you. Yes, that eternal you
Mhm.
is looking at it. And Debbie, do you think that automatically helps to some degree because you feel
Absolutely.
supported?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Debbie, you're very aware of your team of light. You've
Oh
videoed
yeah,
having session spaces and seen the actual orbs of light moving through the room, and you've had
I
many
can call
experiences.
and they're right there.
Awesome. Awesome. And so Debbie is able to share this with you. This is not something unique to Debbie or me or
Mm-mm.
anybody in our family. Every single human being on the planet is a piece of the divine. Now, some of the pieces of the divine have spaces of their heart and or their soul connection that are kind of dormant or shut off. But we are here to remind you they can be turned back on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we do. That's what we do. And that's what the ascension process is, the turning on of that. Then you turn it on. Now you're hearing differently and you're seeing differently and you're
Mm-hmm.
knowing differently. And that's where Debbie is. So
And you're
many of you,
feeling differently.
yes, I love it. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. And that's a really big part of it. So now, what do you do with this? What do I suggest? What is your take on this as well as I say this to them, Debbie? How does this work for you if you've done this? You have a couple options. You can write down what you see to, in a way, get it out of your head, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes talking about things helps, but not everybody has somebody they can tell this to, or that they
Right,
want to continue to say these things, right? You don't
right,
maybe want to speak them, right? But
right.
when you write them, you're giving yourself the opportunity to get it out of your head. And then you can also bless it, like literally put your hands over the paper of what you wrote and send higher dimensional healing light and love to that image, that vision, that space that you witnessed. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing you can do. Write it down, get it out, bless it.
I've been a
Then,
lot better about writing, so it is important. I see it as I
okay.
write. I feel it.
Okay. Do you feel like it almost gives you a little, it becomes where it's not bigger than you? Because that's
Yes,
something that's important as well. When we have the image come in, sometimes it can be so off-putting and out of nowhere that it
yes,
feels bigger than us, you know?
yes.
And then writing it down kind of places it into this paper space that you realize, okay, hold on a second. I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it. Yes, I'm bigger than it. You know, it's a
Yes.
space. I'm eternal consciousness.
You know, I
So,
couldn't get out of that space and I kept rereading it and rereading it and rereading it. That's why I sent it to you because I figured somebody else has to see it. If
mhm.
I'm the only one reading it and I'm not, I can't get what I need out of it. Maybe it needs to go further. And I knew I couldn't offer it to anyone around me. Do you know?
Okay. Yes, I'm glad you felt like you
So
could
that
share it with me.
space
Yeah.
was, yes.
So when you are seeing these spaces, and anyone who's seeing these spaces, say, why? Am I seeing the future? Is it something I'm supposed to warn the world about? I know that would be the go-to thoughts we would
Right.
have. And there's absolutely, I'm not saying that's not a possibility. I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but I am saying I know one thing for absolute, and that is you have the ability to intercede. You
Mhm.
have the ability to filter the energy. And it's not that it should be seen as a responsibility, as in if you didn't do it fast enough, or you didn't do it long enough, or you didn't do
Right.
it good enough, that it's all on you. But it's just the fact that you have the ability to sit, have the space, write it down, bless the space, and then you have the ability to intercede in whether you want to call it prayer, whether you want to call
Hmm.
it setting intentions, whether you want to call it doing an energy session for what you saw, because you know you can send energy to people, places, things, whatever. It's not locked into it has to be a person you send energy to. You can send energy to plants, you can send energy to animals, you can send energy to events in time.
Hmm.
So you could send energy to the space as well, and you could intercede, you could pray and intercede.
Hmm.
And so let's just do this together real quick for anybody who's in this space, because I feel like when you're in this space, you're tired. I feel like you might be a little worn out
Hmm.
emotionally and mentally, and you just want someone to step in there and hold your hand for a second, which makes sense. So if you were to be in this position and you were looking for a go-to prayer, and we can do it together right now.
Hmm.
Yes, Okay. I yell yes sometimes. It's just the energy rising and the connection of spirit. So spirit is present. Christ consciousness is present. The we is present. Yes. And that's just confirmation. All right. So we're going to allow this space directly as an example. Deborah had a vision and she saw spaces of humanity in despair. We're going to use some words here to describe it without going into the specifics of the vision. Yes, destruction, despair, turmoil, darkness, heavy. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So now let's do this together, Deborah, and anyone watching, do it with us. We're going to apply this to that vision. And then if you have a vision in the future, anyone watching, you can use this again. All right. We're going to put our hands together in prayer position. Going to allow yourself to take a nice deep breath in, nice and slow. And as you're breathing, you're allowing yourself to remember who you are. What does that mean? It means you're eternal and you're having a now. Yes. Just breathe and get that in your connection point. Get that in your connection point. Even if you're coming off of a vision or a dream that seemed scary or big or dense or evil, take a breath and remember who you are. Yes. I am eternal, having a now. Allow yourself to say that, think it, whisper it, whatever way works for you. I am eternal. Yes. Having a now. I am surrounded by light. I am protected. Yes. I am guarded. I am guided. Yasanene. Yes. I am loved. Yes. I am safe. I trust myself. Whatever I have seen, I send love to now. Whatever I have heard, I cover in the divine. Whatever I have felt, I wrap in the arms of love. I intercede with this space as I anchor peace. Yes! And then you just allow, just breathe and know you are the vibrational signature of peace. You are the peace that passes all understanding. You are the space of the divine within the now, as you allow the divine to flow through you. Breathe. Yes. I seal this in Christ consciousness. Some of you want to say, I seal this in the name of Christ. You may say that. It's your prayer to seal. Why do we align it with Christ? It's the representational alignment of the divine that is the sacred connection, yes, of love. Yes. Yes. Now just allow your breath. Just allow your breath as that energy, space, that peace that passes all understanding moves through your form, through your breath. Just let it move. Yes. Let peace flow through you. Now we're going to bring the focus back to continue on with this conversation. If you need to stay in longer, just go ahead and stay in longer. But to continue forward with what we're sharing here, when the peace that passes all understanding is given a notation and given a focus, given a reference, then that peace that passes all understanding is vibrating, it's emanating, it's present, it's available. Yes. So no matter what you've seen, felt, witnessed, heard, yes, yes, interpreted, you are bringing peace to that space by just holding that alignment in yourself. Now, some of the time, the mind really likes to know why, right? It's one of the biggest
Does it
questions.
ever?
And if you ever had a child or been around a child or even see a movie or here or there, that's a main thing, the child, why?
Yes.
And you answer the why and they say why again. And you answer the why and they say why again. So the why is
Mm-hmm.
big. So if we were to say, why would you see these things? There are many reasons that you could give. But those that I feel to share here today that I think are very important is number one, to intercede, to be peace, to take a minute to say a short prayer or a long prayer, whatever works for you. Some people might feel very comfortable drawing like a blessing and then placing crystals on it and placing it in their home somewhere where they can look at it daily and just say, I bless that space. And it's a reference point to that image, that dream, that vision. You are being given, I am being given, we are being given the opportunity to intercede, to filter the energies. Because listen to me, why is that beneficial? Yes, whatever we focus on expands. If we go at it from a fear standpoint and we stand on the top of a soapbox and we scream at the top of our lungs
Yes.
for anybody who can hear us and we say doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom and gloom, we are feeding that alignment to be stronger. We are
Absolutely.
feeding that darkness, that catastrophe to have more, yes, traction.
Yes, that's why I had to get rid of it. I had to pass it out. I had to send it away.
So, and another space of this that could be beneficial to understand as well is when you get rid of it and send it away in the understanding of you are still peace, even though you
Mm-hmm.
saw it. You are still peace and surrounded by love, even though you witnessed it, felt it. Yes, now it did not grow any more of its darkness through your energy center, through your being. It did
Right.
not get to grow. If anything, it may have been in some ways diminished to some extent because of the shift in vibration your presence, your vantage point, your focus offered. Now, is it all right to get scared when you have the vision at first, or when you're trying to figure out what to do with it, or you're waking up from a deep sleep, or you're coming out of a meditation? Absolutely. That's the human body having an emotion that we're designed to have them. It's whether you decide to stay there or not. It's whether
Right.
you decide to make that, yes, the implementation point, or whether you decide to master the space and shift it. You're also another why, yes, is the understanding of there are timelines that are collapsing because humanity is waking up.
Mm-hmm.
And so many who follow this type of content, you're going to be familiar with tipping point, the concept of all of the human individuals on the planet kind of waking up, and everybody's in a little bit of a different increment. But when you get at a certain point of so many people, so many consciousness, so many spaces of consciousness and mindset and belief structure, being able to remember who they are in the connection as the divine in form, you get to that point and you've now tipped the scale out of
Right.
imbalance into balance. So timelines that were going to happen, that were dark and ugly and traumatic, are collapsing. So Debbie, and many of you may be seeing
Excuse me.
spaces that no longer will be. And so that's another reason not to fear,
Right.
because it may not ever even come to fruition because you are witnessing spaces we no longer are. Sending love to it just seals the deal to keep everybody safe, because what else are we
Mm-hmm.
going to do with it? You know what I mean? amplify it and feed it, or offer it the opportunity to dissolve.
Absolutely.
So there's a whole lot more that could be said in all directions. This is a really big topic, but I feel like those are the really key points that I would want to know if I was having this space. Now, you are a sign of the times. I've talked about this before. We've talked about it in our community as well.
I'm
So,
57 years old. It's not supposed to be my times. It's supposed to
well,
be the younger generation.
but there is scripture that says that that there will be visions given and dreams given to the old and to the young. So I find it really fascinating that there's this uptick. There's this
Hmm.
uptick, and it's for me, it's a confirmation of the space we're in.
Yes.
Um, Now, how do you feel about the collapsing timeline thing? Does that
I'm,
resonate at all, or do you?
yes, yes, it does. It does. I really, if you look at the pictures I sent to you, now I had to do this by AI because I cannot draw to save my life. Um, so I kind of just described things. And the beginning, it was vision of horror after horror, collapsing things, just dark. Then, as I started offering it more peace, more love, and I stopped trying to analyze it so much and pick out parts, which I really was doing,
Mhm.
I noticed that things started to shift. And when they shifted, if you look at the AI pictures, you can tell exactly when it happened because things lightened up for me and they went back to some type of normalcy, but a little more vivid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important. Thank you for sharing that. And I've implemented the pictures here, so this will be available for everybody to understand what you're talking about. Um, there's also a layer to this as you're talking, Debbie. I'm getting another layer. Um, Debbie's always good for that. She really is. She brings out the best in me for sure. So there's this layer of understanding of it doesn't change, as in the way in which we manifest and create our life, whether it's an individual take or a collective take, the way we individually connect with and respond and interact and engage 100% directs what we see. And even your visions began to shift
Hmm.
as you chose to send peace and to send love and to not go to the fear spaces and get too freaked
Absolutely.
out. Okay. And so you even had proof in a sense, because as you were,
Hmm.
and you stated you even used AI, which I've used that before. And I know what you're talking about. You give it like 5 words or so, and then it
Yeah.
produces. Yeah, I'm not an
I
artist
was
either.
given it
So,
paragraphs, so
oh, you must have a better app than me.
I don't know.
My app's like, you get 5 words, lady. That's it.
At the end, it was telling me no more.
All right. So yeah, I love that though, that even in that manner, you could see the shift visually in the
Yes.
visions as you were working with the space and sending peace. So whether or not these are spaces that would be unfolding ahead and it's a prophetic vision, a warning vision, or whether it is understood as a collapsing timeline, we are bringing ourselves this understanding and empowerment that it doesn't matter really, because
Hmm.
what we do with it changes it anyways.
Hmm.
Whether it's a collapsing timeline or whether it's something that has yet to happen and is a warning of what's to come, when we choose peace
Hmm.
and we start sending that divine I am flow to that space, that vision, that knowing, that feeling, and we
Hmm.
choose not to go into the darkness, but we choose to maintain the light, it's inevitable. It
Mhm.
will change, whether it's a collapsing timeline or a prophetic space still to unfold. Um, yeah, so that's pretty powerful. That's really beautiful. Now,
Yeah.
that's another reason why prophecy is so fascinating to me. I've studied prophecy all my life. Um, I'm very familiar with prophecies from the Bible, Daniel, Isaiah, Revelations, those books, especially with end time prophecies. Um, and what's fascinating to me is if you understand a prophecy that could possibly come forward, but you understand how energy works, creation, manifestation, alignment of resonance and vibration frequency, then no prophecy is, in my humble opinion, a 100% done deal, because the minute, yes, the minute, yes, that humanity begins to awaken to its understanding of itself as creator beings and implements that, then anything that had already been prophesied is then vibrationally in flux. Yes,
Mhm.
it is moving into a new alignment because these creator being points are carrying a different flow. And according to what we're carrying, what we're being, what we're believing, what we understand of ourselves is then what we will witness and experience. It's our plug-in point, you know?
Mhm.
And so as we change our plug-in point and we keep maintaining that ever expanding vibrational flow of ourselves, these prophecies are ever changing as well. Does this make
Yes, they
sense?
are. Yes,
Yes. All right.
100%.
All right. So, all right, Debbie, I keep wanting to call you
It's
Deborah because
okay.
I'm used to the
I know
little.
I'm not in trouble with you,
Oh, okay, I get it. I love it. Well, maybe that's a healing space, right?
right?
To hear Deborah in a new way. All right, I
Right.
love it. um, all right. So, Debbie, can you think of anything else that might we should touch on and or would be helpful in any way for anyone in this type of space where they're having visions and or dreams that
I
are coming in like this?
Yeah, I would definitely say write it.
Mm.
And if you get stuck with writing it, pass it on to someone. Like you said, the pods are there. We have a beautiful Acasma family, so there's always someone to reach out to.
Mm.
And it helps tremendously.
I love that. I love that. Do you find when you reach out, I'm not in the pods all the time, but I try to get in there and scan them as best I can and share here and there. But we have the beautiful leaders in each pod. Um, do you find though that there's that kind of, I feel like the love floods in. So
Oh, yes,
Mhm.
definitely.
The minute someone shares something that they may need a little bit of a hand holding on or some
I've done
understanding
it.
with, and the love just floods in, and it's so
Hmm.
supportive, and it's based in the teachings we share with Acasma quantum energy, Acasma consciousness, which is I am consciousness, Christ consciousness, the understanding of the ever expanding us. And
Yes.
so yeah, that's good. I like that. And it's a free community. So it's not like
Yes.
anybody has any reason why they, can't do it.
Can't
And
do
that
it.
and you don't even have to write anything. I
Mm-mm.
think there's a lot of people in there that aren't sharers. They're not comfortable sharing, but they may be
Mm.
feeling and experiencing these things as well. And not just
Right.
this, we talk about all kinds of things in there.
Hmm.
Um, but then they read and they read comments and all these things that are coming in. And it's like, you can take any type of approach you want. You can be actively writing and sharing, or you can just be somebody who reads and
Hmm.
has a connection through that way. But it's available to whatever way you want to connect, and it is free. So you go to my website if this interests you, sacredexpansion.com, and there's a button on the homepage says join the free community. It's that easy. And then the pods of light, you'll get a link to Discord server. That's where we are for the chat spaces that Debbie's speaking of. And it's a great server. It's easy, user friendly. I mean, I'm still learning spaces of it, but it's pretty easy. They've got fun emojis you get to use. And it's a very good group. And then we have our Zoom meeting once a month where we get together as a beautiful family of light, and we do a space, individual based space of reconnection and blessing, and then we all join together to bless the planet and humanity and beyond. So I love it. Thank you,
There was a
Debbie.
lot of healing going on in that last one.
Oh, okay. Yes,
A
thank you so
lot of
much.
healing, yes.
Yeah. So you're such a good set of eyes because you see on all levels. I love that
Yes.
about you. So were you and forgive me, I don't remember every single space of all the spaces we are, but were you in the live,
I
and
was.
did you catch the video by any chance?
I
Or
did catch
just
the video. I was in the live, then I got kicked out.
okay, okay.
So I had
And
to
not
watch the
kicked out like
video.
I didn't
I
kick you
know.
out. Let's
The
make sure
internet.
people know. Like internet messed up or something. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
that was funny.
But
That was funny.
when I connected, boy did I connect.
Okay. And so the video is available on YouTube that Debbie's
Yes.
speaking of. And it is a powerful space for knowing what's going on right now, a general
Hmm.
energy read on humanity and Earth and consciousness itself. And then it also offers a space for clearing and healing. We did have a lot of feedback on people getting physically healed, just like
Hmm.
in
I
like you're
felt
speaking
it.
of with the ribs and what you've done in the past with this space as well. Um, but yeah, that's a once a month deal that we do together, again, free. So this is available, and this is here. It came in 2020, this beautiful family and group and outreach. And it's here.
You're
Isn't
never
that?
too old to start.
I love it. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much. So isn't it interesting? It came in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going on, this is year 5, and we have an international family. We have people from all
Unbelievable.
over the planet
That's
and
beautiful.
all different belief structures, religions, cultures, ethnicities, you know, it's just a space of unity, consciousness, and love. So I'm very grateful to be this space with you all. All right, Debbie, I think we did good at
We
laying this
did.
out and sharing. And so I'll get it put together and up on YouTube. And I thank you again and again for
Much
your,
love.
oh, thank you, Debbie. Thank you, thank you,
Much
thank
love.
you. And a huge shout out again to our beautiful family of light. We love
Yes.
you. We
We
love
love
you.
you.
We love you.
Thank you.